So hello everyone, I'm Dua, heading the media and marketing efforts at Invest to Innovate. It's truly wonderful to be here today with all of you. Our agenda today is to dive deeper into understanding the dynamics of co-founder relationships, understanding the journey through ups and downs, and uncovering the extraordinary bonds they share while scaling their ventures. So super excited to have Dr. Sara and Dr. Iffat, the co-founders of Sehat Kahani, which is a one-stop telemedicine solution for all kinds of primary health issues, spanning from diagnosis to treatment. So Sara and Iffat, thank you so much for taking our time today. I am sure your insights will be invaluable for our startup co-founders in better managing the relationship. So let's begin with a brief introduction. One of you can go first.
Sure. My name is Dr. Sara I'm the CEO and co-founder of Sehat Kahani. I've been running Sehat Kahani with Iffat for over 7 years now. Wow. And I'm a medical doctor by profession. I'm a public health specialist, and I'm a mother of 2 young girls.
So I'm Iffat. I'm also a medical doctor by profession. I've done my MSc in Global E-Health from University of Edinburgh. And yes, again, mother of 2 girls. Our daughters are actually very close in terms of their ages.
Okay.
So that wasn't planned. So
do you think so?
Yes.
Okay, so could you take us back to the beginning? How did the idea of your venture come about, and what motivated both of you to start this journey together?
So I think the story goes a little back to 2014-15. So I was, I graduated out of medical school and I did my house job, and I got married right after my house job. And there is a theme for women doctors who get married right after their graduation. It's called the doctor bride phenomena. So a lot of women doctors don't actually work after getting their degree. In my case, I did start working. So I did start doing my residency in radiology. I did a year and I got pregnant with my first daughter, and I left my residency. And when I left my residency, in my pregnancy, I joined a USAID project, which had a clinic in Sultanabad, which is an urban slum behind the US Embassy in Karachi. And I started working there as a doctor. And I really enjoyed my experience there, connecting to patients in primary care. Because a lot of patients, as I knew from my house job experience, come to tertiary care hospitals only when their issues are worse enough that they cannot be treated in primary care clinics. So I was really happy that I was being able to help patients in primary care in a slum. But after delivering my first daughter, I left and I went to Lahore. And I went into a very big house with my daughter, and I didn't have anything to do. So I had become the doctor bride, and I fell into severe postpartum depression with no idea what to do with my life. And in that, I got reconnected with my nurse who used to work with me in my clinic in Sultanabad. And, she said that, you've left and we can't find a doctor to replace you. And together we thought, okay, how can we help patients collectively? Because I was missing my clinic, I was missing my work. So we started doing on-call consultations. So she used to call me whenever a patient came in and needed a consultation. And after some time, she said that, this is not working. They don't know what to do. They don't know who it is who's talking to them on the phone. So she stuck a webcam on her laptop, and we started doing video consultations. And the idea really seemed to click to me. So instantly I thought, okay, I'm sitting in Lahore. The patient is in Karachi. The nurse is with the patient. And we're doing like this, we bypassing a geographical barrier. It's very easy for the patient to talk to me in this way. So why can't we just connect all women doctors? And there's a huge majority of them who don't work after marriage, despite making majority of the medical workforce. How can we connect them to patients across the country using the same method? But I had no money to start this. So I started entering into some startup competitions, and I got chosen for a competition in Nepal between different startup ideas. And I went to Nepal. I pitched the idea and I won the first prize. So I got funding, I felt great about it. And when I came back, so I told my husband that we have to move back to Karachi because I really wanted to pilot this. I moved back to Karachi, and when I was sitting, kind of thinking how to pilot this idea, in that office, Iffat was working as a medical director of one of the departments. And I think the first thing that we connected on was our first daughters are actually 15 days apart.
Yeah.
So exactly the same age, exactly at like, I'll say 8 or 9 months old. Yeah. When they were. So we instantly connected as like new mothers who went through difficult pregnancies. So we really connected and bonded on that. And then And then, yeah, so I think Iffat, she really connected with the idea because she had gone through something very, very similar in her life, and she'll share that. But I think who I saw in Iffat is I saw a very genuine person who really connected with the idea. And I also needed someone to run this with. I couldn't do it alone. So I started to lure her in slowly and gradually from her position. And she started sitting with me. We started discussing the idea. And then somehow in the middle, she also fell in love with it. And she formally joined as a founder. So it took like a couple of months and she was in. Yeah.
So I think when I met Sara, I had resumed work after taking almost a 1.5 break after my daughter was born. So I really understood the problem. And I think while our problems were quite similar, but also quite different in a way, because I also, come from quite a humble family. आप बड़ी ख्वाहिश करके डॉक्टर बनते हैं कि डॉक्टर बनना है, your parents are really into it that आपको डॉक्टर बनना है, and आप बन भी जाते हैं, you're working. In my career, I had shifted or switched to the pharma sector. So pharma sector की jobs काफी demanding होती हैं in the sense that there's a lot of legwork, you travel a lot, there's also a lot of opportunity, so that's exciting also. But so when I was pregnant for my first time, me and my husband, we ended up losing our first child in a premature birth. So, and this was obviously, this added a lot of guilt to us. We just felt that, I just felt that maybe, क्योंकि मैं इतना travel कर रही थी, शायद office में lift नहीं थी. Ultimately, इसी patriarchal society से ज़ाहिर है belong करते हैं. So you end up hearing all these noises, even if your family is really supportive. So the next time when I conceived, I didn't think once, and I was like, oh my God, I just have to quit. So alhamdulillah, when my healthy daughter was born, and she was reaching her first birthday, that's when I resumed work and I met her. And I think this concept, I just fell in love with it. I was like, if every female has the opportunity to resume her work, like continue it, even if, for example, she can't go physically to a space, I think everyone needs that. और क्योंकि बहुत कोविड से पहले की बात है, तो आई थिंक उस जमाने में पाकिस्तान में तो वर्क फ्रॉम होम का इतना कॉन्सेप्ट था ही नहीं. So I think that was something which was very unique and innovative. And I think Sara is very inspiring. She's very intelligent. So in her, I found that partner who can really, meticulously think of details and, how are we going to work it out. So I think we just made a really good team. Yeah. And we didn't know each other.
We didn't know.
I think that's the really important part, is to believe in the same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think as people also, we are very, very, very different in terms of our personalities, which really helps in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've grown with each other. My personality in each other.
For sure. So the other day when I was talking to Dr. Iffat, she talked about exactly this point, that the importance of qualities and skill sets that each founder brings to the table. So why don't you guys talk about like the individual skill set that complement each other?
So I think Iffat, on the start with, I think Iffat's very first quality is she's an extremely honest person. And she is, she'll give you the most honest feedback on anything. She'll be very honest on, okay, this can happen, this cannot happen, this didn't happen the way it should have happened. And, she starts with a sentence, मुझे तुम एक चीज बतानी है. So that is how the sentence starts. Yeah, मुझे तुमसे एक चीज discuss करनी है. So she's very honest, and I think the second big quality that she has that I don't have as much as she does is she looks into the very big vision. She's a dreamer. She aspires that, Sehat Kahani will one day have a university and a college and a hospital and, all our metaverse universe, and we'll have a planet. So she has that ability to think beyond any practical horizons. She's very empathetic, so she connects with people as a person. Like, I think for a long time, and that's something that I've learned with her, and I've embedded that into my personality, is people, we felt very comfortable with her talking about their issues, and they would only come to me either when they needed an appraisal or they needed a long leave, or when they had to be like identified for something. That's when I used to come in as the bad villain. But I think I've learned that from her.
So it's like a good cop, bad cop thing.
It was an actual good cop, situation. But now I think we both become we had the tendency now to do role reversals. So when she's being the bad cop, I ultimately transform into a good cop and vice versa. So now we've known each other for so many years that we've imbibed this from each other. I think she's a very hardworking person. She doesn't give hope. I think that's a wonderful quality for her. There are a lot of times that I have lost hope कि यार ये नहीं होगा, ये project नहीं होगा. But she's like, नहीं देखो इतना कर लेते हैं, हो सकता है हो जाए. So she doesn't give up hope. She's very hardworking. She's very persistent. And whatever work she does it with a lot of honesty. But at the same time, she has a lot of integrity also. So she will never do wrong with anyone, never think of a shortcut in doing it. She will always say कि नहीं ये देखो ये हो जाएगा, अगर हम ये करेंगे तो ये गलत हो जाएगा. And she always is a person who plays the devil's advocate for people as well, which I really like about her. So when she comes into the room, she says कि चलो हो सकता है उसकी ये मजबूरी हो सकता है उसने इस तरह बात ना की हो. So she's that kind of a person who will like calm you down with being the devil's advocate or being championing people who are not even there. So I think these are all the qualities that I love about her.
I think so when I started working with Sara, I think a lot of our regular day-to-day lives really match. So having children of the same age, the pick and drop, and जो एक married खातून की पाकिस्तान में responsibilities होती हैं. So I think they were very similar. So we instantly connected on those. Okay, this is what she's doing for her children. This is what I'm doing. But I think in work, I don't think I've met any other woman who's as intelligent as Sara, literally. And I think the way she's really able to navigate and think through details, which I'm really, I think every day, every week, I think I've learned something from her in the last 7 years. कोई दिन मुझे ऐसा लगता है ऐसा नहीं होता where there's some new thing that I learned from her. And not only about work, even for example about politics, about what's happening in the world. There's so much that, mashallah, I find that she's really educated and she's constantly learning. And she's constantly adding to her learning curve, which has really helped me add to my learning curve. She's very detail oriented. So I'll just make this बड़ा सा ख्वाब कि बस हमें ये करना है. अब वो करना कैसे है वो मुझे नहीं पता. तो that person who will figure out the details कि अच्छा okay मैं तो बिल्कुल ना प्लान बना के बस हम एक फनी चीज ये होती है किसी मीटिंग में गए बस सब कुछ बेच बाज करा के and then she'll be like अभी करेंगे कैसे. And then she's that person figuring out कि हमें करना कैसे है, किस तरह से figure out करना है. And I think in the last few years, we have really, I think, gotten very close. Bra sisterly सा हमारा bond है. She's been there for me in my, very difficult times. And this is something that I see that शायद बहुत सारे employees in the initial days ये ना relate करते हैं, but anyone who's maybe, down or, is challenging, maybe I'm actually not the person who'll step up, but she's always stepped up for like people, employees who are in their difficult time. She's actually the one, किसी का accident हो गया, तो she's the one who'll go there without thinking twice कि कोई meeting है, हमें कहीं पहुंचना है. So that's something which I do see in a lot of people in Pakistan, and especially in the banking sector. You won't see people को कभी meeting छोड़ के किसी के accident में उनकी help करने चला जाए. So I think, and that's where I think at the core of it, I think we both have been empathetic people, but as we grew up, we have different personas, but at the core of it, we are very similar there. I think हमारी financial values बड़ी match करती हैं. हम अपने लिए पैसे नहीं ले रहे होंगे, पर हम employees को दे रहे होंगे, या team members को facilitate जितना कर सकते हैं करने की कोशिश कर रहे होंगे. Honesty, honesty is at the core of everything. कि यार हमें जो भी किया, जो भी काम आज तक कर रहे हैं, I think honesty is a core of her personality also. And कभी-कभी, as founders, we're like, अच्छा यार अपनी salary बढ़ा लेते हैं, but she'll be like, नहीं, we're answerable to the person sitting, in the sky. So I think that's something that really comes very purely from her. So I think, or answerable to our parents also. So maybe I'm very honestly, I think she's an amazing daughter to her parents, which even I'm not. So I think these are some amazing qualities that I've seen with her. And learn. So
that's incredible. So last week I had a conversation with Kalsoom, and she also shared some of the key pillars that keep the foundation strong between her and Misbah. So she shared four things: open communication, empathy, having same values, and supportive coaching. So could you tell us about your approach to manage conflicts and difference of opinion?
I think at the core of it, what we've learned over the years is we need to be completely transparent and honest with each other. So we just really communicate a lot. We talk a lot. When we come to office in the morning, we have a room. So we've kept our room together. And if we're sitting here, that we're sitting right now in our room, we'll just, for half an hour in the morning, we just vent about everything, work and non-work related, and really just communicate with each other. Even if I've done something or said something that I feel that, I shouldn't have said, or, I over-bajified something, or she's done the same. You are founders, so you want to brag about the work that you do. So I always call her and tell her, yeah, I've said this, and, now we have to back it up with our work. So I think the core of it is we talk to each other all the time. We pick up each other's call. We don't let the call go missed, or we call each other back. We protect also each other. So if she said something in front of a client or an investor, if she said something, I will always back it up. And people really use this, that Dr. Iffat ne to ye kaha tha, or Dr. Sara ne to ye kaha tha. So I think our strategy always has been to protect the other person and say ke haan bilkul theek kaha tha, aisa hi hoga. So always keeping each other's back. I think one thing that we've learned is like parents, keeping our quarrels very private. That's something that I have learned over the years. So don't let it out of the children, which is our employees, and keep a very strong front forward. We're two women running our company, so we have to keep a strong front forward. I think values is something that we really relate to. We have kind of the same upbringing, and we really relate to that, the quality of hard work, the quality of female empowerment, or just giving your best in the moment that you are, is really important. But I think we also share a lot beyond work. So people think that we're co-founders, but I think more than a co-founder, I think Iffat is like my sister, and we don't have sisters. So I think we connect on that I can share anything with her. Also, I know she's the best secret keeper. And I hope she's the same about me. So I know, so we keep our secrets, and we make sure that no one else knows about them. So we connect beyond the co-founder relationship, as friends, as sisters, as people, actually. So as Christina Yang said in Grey's Anatomy, she's my person. Exactly. So that's how it is. Yeah.
That's incredible. So there must have been times when things got funny or memorable. So can you recall and share a funny story about each other? Iffat, why don't you go first?
So बहुत होती हैं जब हम severe disaster में होते हैं. I think that's the time when we laugh a lot. So we'll be like sitting in our room, and कोई बहुत severe disaster stuff हो गया है, or for example there's some urgent deadline, and it's like chaotic situation. हम deadline meet नहीं कर पा रहे, या things are all over the place, and we start laughing. Like in stress, we start laughing. And literally, I think the team members think we're just having fun. We don't work. बहुत party चल रही है. But we laugh hysterically. Oh God! So that's something that is really funny that we still share. Like अभी भी बहुत दफा ऐसा होगा कि we just start laughing at something. इसके अलावा मुझे लगता है कि सारा बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग जो है ना, बड़ी इंट्रीगिंग जो है सीरियल्स देखती हैं रात में. Yeah, but so she's fond of watching really intriguing serials or movies, and in the morning she'll be like, तुम ये देखना. वो बड़ी twisted किस्म के ना, जो बहुत difficult to grasp होंगे, literally. But I think she just loves watching them.
So I watch like gory series, जिसमें people are being cut or they're being put into different places. Dumped into switch or whatever. So मैं Iffat को आके बताती हूँ, सुबह देखो, अगर someday you're cut up into sections and I have to dump you over, and Iffat is like moving her chair, and she's like, okay.
I don't know you.
Yeah, but yeah, I think there's so many funny moments. I think we really enjoy each other's company. So we make, even a dull moment, we make funny, laugh each other's jokes. And I think we both have a great sense of humor. So we laugh at each other also. And I think Iffat has a better sense of humor than me, so she can laugh on herself more than I do. But yeah, I think even in conversations, I really enjoy when we're pitching to an investor or to a person, and we're just chatting on the sidebar on our messages,
on our notepad.
On our notepad. So sometimes we are like writing notes on a notepad when we're in meetings, and Urdu mein notes likh rahe hote hain, so that's really funny. But yeah, I think traveling has been really funny. So I think one funny thing about Iffat is, so I'm a very disciplined person. I'm a very time ka paband and everything organized. But on travel, I'm a different person, because even if I'm traveling for work, I get a little laid back because it's traveling. Iffat becomes a totally different person. So I think one very funny story is, we were this is way back 4 years ago. We were in Islamabad, and I was not feeling well, so I wanted to sleep in, and we had the meeting at 10. And if it is like, utho, meeting hai, utho. And I was like, "Acha, Iffat, मैं उठ रही हूँ, let me get up." And she's like, "तुम्हारे कपड़े कहाँ हैं? कपड़े निकालो." And I said, "क्यों कपड़े चाहिए? कहती मैं इस्त्री करूँगी तुम्हारे कपड़े." And it was so funny that Iffat is standing there in the hotel room. मेरे कपड़े इस्त्री कर रही है और फिर I went to the shower, मुझे अंदर पकड़ा रही है कि जल्दी पकड़ो. We need to अच्छा एक और funny incident है कि we met the president of Pakistan. और हम रूम में पहुंच गए प्रेसिडेंट से मिलने के लिए आरिफ अलवी साहब से एंड वी हैड दिस प्रेजेंटेशन दैट वी हैड टू गिव हिम एंड वी फॉरगॉट एंड आई एम लुकिंग एट इफत एंड इफत इज लुकिंग एट मी एंड आई एम लाइक वेयर इज द पेपर एंड शी इज लाइक व्हाट आई एम लाइक वेयर इज द पेपर एंड शी इज लाइक व्हाट एंड दिस इज ऑल हैपनिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट. And मैंने कहा चलो अब जाओ. And poor Iffat went back to the hotel, got the presentation. So when Iffat walked into the room, the president was already sitting, and everyone looked at Iffat, and she had these stacks of presentations in her hand. So yeah, I think, but I think the most fun thing I have is of reading each other's
Gestures
faces and
and
eyes and just understanding each other's reactions. I think that's something very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I think बड़ी मजे की चीज होती है. I think when we are pitching to, particularly when we are meeting, partners or potential partners, I think so I think now क्योंकि इतनी दफा हम ये कर चुके हैं, we've gone through this exercise so many times, so we just exactly know अच्छा ये बंदा ये बोल रहा है, अच्छा मैं ये बोलूंगी, अच्छा फिर ये बंदा ये बोलेगा, फिर मैं ये बोलूंगी. And so we have to make sure, ये हमारा एक kind of अहद होता है कि we have to make sure the other person is convinced and he just buys our product. So बस convince करके उठना है.
So another very funny incident that I can remember, and I really want this because that's people, because a lot of founders that I meet are very scared to do this, is how to approach the big conglomerates, C-level employees. So there was a conference in Karachi, and me and Iffat bought the ticket to the conference just to tag this one person. This is back in 2017 when we were really establishing our corporate partnerships. And the COO of that company, a very big short C-level employee, he was there as a speaker. So a lot of people were going to meet with him, and he wasn't getting the time to meet with anyone. So me and Iffat chalked out a strategy. We said that when he's going to come out for tea, I said, I'm going to stand the front, you're going to stand the back, so that he can't move, because he can't get away from two women at the same time. So we did exactly it. The poor guy went for tea, and I went and I stood in front of him, and Iffat stood at his back. And we literally gherofied him. And we said that, sir, we have this and this company, and we want to talk to you. And poor guy had no choice. He had to give his card and talk to him. So even when we go into conferences, I never scan the room of who we need to meet, and then we make a plan. You go this territory. You go this way, I go this way. So we plan this small thing out. So I think that was incredibly funny how we have approach very difficult people.
Teamwork comes out.
Together, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got to work from most of them.
Yes.
So that has been an achievement. Okay. I think one more thing which I think I would like to say is, so I'm that person, I start something, but I just find it so difficult to close it. And Sara is that, I'm like, अच्छा, okay, अच्छा, in Urdu कहते हैं ना, पूरा रायता वैसा फैला दिया, समेटना आपको नहीं आ रहा कि how do you come to the central point? And she's that person, she's like, अच्छा, okay, सबको ना बिठाएगी, and she'll be like, वो teachers की तरह से नहीं होता, अच्छा, okay, इसका क्या हुआ, इसका क्या हुआ, इसका अच्छा, okay, हमारे पास 3 दिन है, we have to wrap this up. So I think that's something that really makes us a good team. That okay, I can just really spread it, but not close it. But she's the person who will be able to close it. So मुझे लगता है उससे भी बड़ा एक फायदा होता है हमेशा.
So you guys talked about the achievements. I want to know, how do you guys celebrate the achievements, both as a team and as individuals?
Very, very honestly, मुझे लगता है कि we're always looking for that next thing. We're like, अच्छा ये तो हो गया, and which I think we should do more. And that's kind of a feedback that we get from the team, that we don't celebrate success so much. Because in our mind, we're like, okay, this is a part of this bigger picture. Now we have to move towards B and C and D. So I think after every success, we are like, अच्छा, okay, अब next क्या कर रहे हैं? अच्छा, अब next क्या कर रहे हैं? We have this wall of, अब हमें ये चीज करनी है, अब हमें ये चीज करनी है. So
yeah, but I think what in that is, I think, and that I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people have that or not. But I think being of the same gender, I think we're very, very comfortable and also excited for each other. So if Iffat, wins an award, or she's going to a conference, or she's traveling and she's very excited about it, then I'll also get very excited about it, and vice versa. If I'm doing well, if I won an award, she will boast about it. I remember when I became a young global leader, Iffat wrote that sentence of me becoming a YGL in every email that she sent to glorify everyone that she could. She's like, co-founder तो World Economic Forum की member बन गई है, बस अब हमें पैसे दे दें, काम दे दें, ये दे दें, वो दे दें. So I think that we enjoy each other's success as well individually. And I think we have so much to celebrate. We have each other birthday parties and play dates, and it's a very rishtedari relationship now also. But we do celebrate together. I think we're very proud of what we've built, and we know that we've done it with a lot of hard work. But at the same time, we also understand that this is just a building block for the bigger picture that we need to build. And I don't know if that bigger picture will ever come in our lifetime, but we have huge aspirations. So we just, when we get something, we get very excited for a day, but then we move to the next thing, because that also seems very exciting. And I think as people, more than that, getting to that thing, I think the process that we enjoy is how to get to that thing.
Yeah.
So, it's I don't know, it's like stress adaptation maybe, but we've gotten used to that stress, that excitement of working. And to the point that we've become a little crazy that, after a long time, I think 2 to 3 weeks back, we were working on this report and things were chaotic after a long time, because things are not so chaotic now. Everything is very streamlined and organized. So, I told Iffat, कितना मजा आ रहा है, सब काम कर रहे हैं, कितना chaos है office के अंदर. So there's a challenge after a long time that we need to do. So I think we enjoy the process of building that success.
Yeah.
And then once that success happens, then we move to the next building, because that process excites us more.
Interesting. That's awesome.
So, I also we kind of enjoy, small moments. For example, most of the days हम lunch साथ कर रहे होंगे. In fact, हम बैठे होंगे सारे team members. कोशिश हमारी होगी वो भी बैठे हैं, but आहिस्ता आहिस्ता वो सब चले जाएंगे, हम ही बैठे हुए होंगे. So we enjoy those small moments also, like lunch कर लिया. If she's traveling, her kids are over at my place. If I'm traveling, my kids are over at her place. So these kind of things also. Once a year we take the team somewhere. So even if it's, for example, going at the beach, so सारे जब announcements वगैरह हो गए, so उसके बाद जो आप 1 घंटा बैठ के सिर्फ I don't know, you're just taking everything in. I think we enjoy that calmness also.
Yeah.
I think that's very important to celebrate those little moments. Yeah. So that also brings me to my last question. Could each of you share one key lesson that you have learned from your journey as co-founders that you believe is crucial for the success of any partnership?
I think what I've learned is you really need to respect. You need to have very deep respect for the other person. And I think that goes for every relationship. But as co-founders, because you're not connected, we were not connected through friendship or blood or any bond before we came together. So I think one thing that's really stuck for us all this time is we really respect each other. We have respect for each other, and we have respect for each other in our own eyes as well. So I think that really works out for me. And I think honesty and transparency with each other, that, even if, I've done something that I shouldn't have, I'm telling you so that you can know, even if anyone else doesn't know. You do a lot of bloopers at work at times, but just being transparent and open to the other person that I've done it, and now we need to back it, is something that I think, and I think all the co-founder relationships that I've seen gone sour, I think somehow it is the lack of trust or respect for each other that comes into play. Or keeping personal interest. I think one more thing that's really connected us together and has shown for that is that we have a deep love for Sehat Kahani. It really bonds us like a child. So we might do something bad to each other, but for example, if we have the worst fight possible, and we've had those very heated and angry moments with each other, we've still come back to work the next day and talked about the work things, even if we're not talking to each other. And we've had that much respect that we need to work, we need to finish this task is important, the client is waiting. So I think having that deep respect for the work that we've done and the thing that we've built is very important.
I think, so just adding to that, I think getting to know what really matters to the other person. And for example, what's the best way to reach out to that person, or communicate to that person. So I think that's something that really matters. It matters in, many relationships. I think a co-founder relationship is also a lot more than any just regular co-worker relationship. It's like we spend most of our days together, even more than our spouses, literally. So, getting to know each other's pain points, getting to know what really matters to her, what matters to me, and communicating in that manner, I think that really makes a difference.
Yeah.
And transparency is really important. I think we've been really transparent. Why exactly? Because second thing सारा क्योंकि गड़बड़ भी हो जाना, but बताना बहुत जरूरी है. So I think because then you can figure out together how to like come out of that.
I think what's really bonded us as co-founders is really being there for our low moments. So there are times जब ये बोलती है बस अब कुछ नहीं हो रहा हूँ मैं छोड़ दूँ बस मैं नहीं हो रहा बस किसी दिन मैं आती हूँ मैं कहती हूँ बस अब मुझसे नहीं हो रहा मैं छोड़ दूँ. She's like नहीं छोड़ सकते हैं तुम घर जाओ
counting on you.
and then I would say कि अच्छा सही है calm down we'll figure it out. So it's also just keep lifting each other up when the other person is low, and just making sure that we're at it and we don't wander anywhere. We keep focused to the line that we've chosen. So that's also very important. So it's not just the high, it's also the low moments really matter.
Yeah. And in fact, being a founder, there are many low moments. There are many, disasters. वो एक fancy startup की दुनिया जब in actuality आप work में देखते हैं. So there are many, challenging days, difficult days. So I think just learning how to navigate that.
Yeah.
And I think having a co-founder is really important because I think that really helps you share the workload also. So I think one thing which is very good about our relationship is that, okay, if for example I have to go somewhere, I know that I can, whether it's taking a leave with my family, whether it's some emergency situation, I know I can go because I know she's there at the back. So I think that also really gives you that peace of mind that okay, there's someone there and the work is gonna continue and not like really fall down when you're not there. And I think I can imagine it must be so challenging for solo founders. So I don't think as a person I could ever operate being a solo founder.
Right. That's really important. And thank you so much, both of you, for sharing this. And so we're concluding this insightful session. Dr. Sara, Dr. Iffat, I truly appreciate the time that you both took out of your busy schedule. And we have listened to some invaluable insights into the dynamics of co-founder relationships. So any last comments from your side?
No, I think if you have a co-founder, just grab onto them.
Or if you don't, then find maybe,
Yeah. Okay. So that's about it. Thank you so much to both of you, and thank you so much for listening, and we will see you soon.